My name is Paul Kindersley and I'm an artist and I work across drawing and film and performance. And I was born in Cambridge and I lived here until I was about 18. And I've been coming to the Fitzwilliam since probably before I was born. I think there's a picture of my mum pregnant with me walking around the museum. Yeah, the great thing about the Fitzwilliam is it's relatively compact, but you just have the best of everything. So everything here is fascinating to look at and interesting and intriguing. And it's like having the best of everything in one perfect museum. I do genuinely think that as well. When you see naked bodies in art, we're so used to it, we're like, oh, well, that's art. So it's like you hardly see it as a naked body anymore, and you'd take your school kids to go and see everything and be like, but if there was real naked people, which I don't think is shameful or upsetting especially, you would get a very, very different reaction. So I don't know, our translation of the human body through art changes something in our head, which is very intriguing.
Like everywhere you look, there are strange and exciting details. Like there's Medusa staring down at me here,
But she's the one turned to stone, so that's quite good.
but I like the fact that you can come to Fitzwilliam and
You don't even have to look at the art that's hanging on the walls. And you can notice all strange doves just flying around the room. Come here to look at, framed artworks, but actually you start looking at everything differently. Maybe. God, there's all sorts of naked men up there as well I hadn't seen. See? Never even looked at anything.